The Limitless India Youth Hackathon. Call for entries, Category 6.
Was $21 million aid used to interfere in the elections in India? Well, Donald Trump has to say a lot on that. In fact, he has indicated that it could have been used to get someone else elected. Also, on the show at 6 p.m, we are going to tell you how the government is cracking the whip against the vulgarity on OTT platforms. Not just that, we'll tell you how the new Delhi cabinet is looking like. Delhi Chief Minister Rekha Gupta has taken charge. All that and more with me, Rakshita Mishra, on 6 Stories at 6. Let me give you a very short version of what I've already recorded as a PTC using the auto trim feature. So what are the graphics that we have for this story?
This one.
Well, I'll give you a better picture using the drawing assist on my Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra. You're watching 6 Stories at 6 with me, Rakshita Mishra.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
Good evening, viewers. You're watching Republic TV. This is 6 Stories at 6 with me, Rakshita Mishra, and we're going to get you a power-packed lineup of all the top stories of the day, viewers. I'm Rakshita Mishra with you. And the first story, the top story of this hour is, of course, the big meddling bombshell that has been dropped by Donald Trump, the sensational expose. Who got those $21 million to influence voting in India? That is the big question. The science, viewers, have been very clear for quite some time. We'll put the entire chronology out for you. After the row over India has got latent, Centre has issued an advisory to the OTT platforms. What does it say? We'll tell you information on that. Story number 3. After Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, Muslim government employees could be getting the Ramzan relief, reduction in working hours in Karnataka. Also on the show, what the Assam Chief Minister Himanta Vows promised on the floor of the Assembly today. In fact, Republic TV will get you all you need to know about Delhi's newly elected Chief Minister, newly sworn-in Chief Minister Rekha Gupta, and live inputs coming in from the banks of Yamuna River as she attends the Aarti on day 1. Finally, how Hamas paraded the coffins and handed over the remains of Israeli hostages at the Khan Yunis, viewers. We start with the meddling bomb that has been dropped by the United States President. If you do remember, viewers, it was back in March 2023 when Rahul Gandhi, on foreign soil in London, sought the intervention of US and Europe to interfere in the internal matters of India. There was a massive outrage across the country, and it was last year Prime Minister Modi had flagged the issue of foreign intervention, saying that there were attempts being made from outside the country to remove him from power. And now it is Donald Trump who has made this sensational statement, saying that USAID'S $21 million funding for voter turnout in India is something that is questionable. And also he said that was it used to in fact get someone else elected, and that you should tell the Indian government about it. Listen in.
And $21 million for voter turnout in India. What do we need to spend $21 million for voter turnout in India? Wow, $21 million. I guess they were trying to get somebody else elected. Wow, we ought to tell the Indian government, because when we hear that Russia spent about $2 in our country, it was a big deal, right? They took some internet ads for $2,000. This is a total breakthrough. $21 million for India elections.
All right, so that was Donald Trump in 2025. But in 2024, Prime Minister Modi had raked up the matter. Listen in.
आजकल देश दुनिया के बड़े बड़े ताकतवर लोग मोदी को हटाने के लिए एकजुट हो गए हैं, लेकिन ये नारी शक्ति का आशीर्वाद है, मातृशक्ति का आशीर्वाद है, आपका सुरक्षा कवच है कि मोदी हर चुनौती से टकराते हुए चलता जा रहा है। कांग्रेस वालों का और दुनिया में बैठी कुछ ताकतों का माथा गर्म हो जाता है। अगर भारत शक्तिशाली हो गया तो कुछ ताकतों का खेल ही बिगड़ जाएगा। आज अगर भारत आत्मनिर्भर बन गया तो कुछ ताकतों की दुकान बंद हो जाएगी। इसलिए वो भारत में कांग्रेस और इंडी गठबंधन की कमजोर सरकार चाहते हैं। ऐसी कांग्रेस सरकार जो आपस में लड़ती रहे, जो घोटाले करती रहे। साथियों, कांग्रेस का इतिहास सत्ता के लालच में देश को तबाह करने का रहा है।
And a former envoy, former diplomat Deepak Vora joins us on the broadcast. Thank you so much, Ambassador Vora. Well, Donald Trump has called this a big breakthrough, that it's a big breakthrough. But of course, the issue is that how was this aid being put in and how were the channels, still hidden? The fact that $21 million aid, India does not need that kind of money. India's expenditure for the elections has been much greater than the United States, and the turnout has been much greater than the United States. But then where was this money going? Who was receiving it? How can this be uncovered? What are the challenges?
Thank you very much, ma'am. You're brilliant. It's always a pleasure to learn from you. The way you put across things, no one does it better than you on Republic. What an amazing channel. I'm not in the nation's capital. I'm at the moment far away in Lucknow, and I was attending a conference. This issue had been discussed again today. May I just put it to you like this, that Donald Trump is a businessman. And of course, he's met his match in another, the Nawab of negotiations, Narendra Modi. Donald Trump is not really worried about this money going to India. He just said, it's gone to India. What did I get in return? He would rather put it in Nigeria or wherever, as long as he gets a return. And from this, he got absolutely nothing. So he's very upset. He considers Narendra Modi a friend. He wants our support in the negotiations that he's doing with Vladimir Putin over the Ukraine conflict. He wants to get people on his side. He wants to get a major power like India. And so he says that, look, these guys before me, that Buddha, that old man, that senile old fellow was spending money. Let me also tell you, ma'am, that it's absolutely accurate, and I say this without any hesitation, that the money was being used to bribe people. Why should anybody be interested in increasing voter turnout? How does it matter? One of my friends, and this is a bit of a joke, one of my friends in Zimbabwe has complained that Donald Trump has frozen USAID. So now my friend cannot do research on the propensity to be gay among African lizards. What kind of nonsense is this? But, this whole thing about voter turnout, etc. Now, I will conclude this segment, but may I have a minute more?
Right.
Yeah. So I'll tell you a little story, ma'am. I was your ambassador in Armenia. The Armenian then president and I were traveling in a plane to Agra from Delhi. He was on a state visit, and then he told me something about USAID. Very interesting. He said, there's this Armenian shepherd walking the streets, and then this fellow pulls up in a Humvee with all kinds of antenna sticking out. And he tells the shepherd that I'll give you 3 pieces of information and I'll take one of your sheep in return. So the shepherd just shrugs, and this guy says, you have 320 shepherds, the fat content is 22%, and the price of sheep's meat on the Chicago Stock Exchange is so much. The shepherd looks at him and says, look, you have given me a useless piece of information. I know how many sheep I have. Who's interested in the fat content? I sell the animals as they are. And the Chicago Stock Exchange price, I'm not interested. But I know that you are from USAID because you wanted one of my animals, and what you put in your car is a dog, not a sheep. So that was the joke about USA. They don't know what they were up to. It was money round tripping. They were laundering money. But this interference in India, we must probe it, ma'am. And this government will. Now that Donald Trump himself has said, probe it, we will. And we'll find out who was responsible. And I believe, ma'am, our legal system is strong enough to ensure that they are really punished severely.
Absolutely. We do expect that the sellouts will be named and exposed very soon. Thank you so much, Ambassador Vohra, for joining us with your insights on that story, viewers. We shift our focus quickly to the other stories of the day that we're tracking. Story number 2, the crackdown on the OTT platforms. Amid India's got latent row, the centre has issued an advisory for social media channels and OTT platforms, asking them to follow the code of ethics prescribed under the Information Technology Rules 2021. Now, this comes after the Supreme Court addressed Ranveer Labadia's case and criticized his comments on the show. In fact, the top court had labelled his comments vulgar and shameful to the society. And now we have the Information and Broadcasting Ministry issuing this advisory. Viewers, we have a special guest, in fact, joining us on the broadcast. Avantika Shetty, who is an actor, is on the broadcast with us live. Ms. Shetty, how do you receive this as an actor, as an artist? We've seen many of the artists talking about freedom of expression, but at the same time, the top court had said that there cannot be abuse of freedom of expression. We've seen many people raising this issue, and now the Information Broadcasting Advisory has come up with some strict, a very strict advisory that one cannot flout the Indian laws.
I'm really glad that something like this happened. This was long in the waiting. And social media especially, we need strict regulations over that. But at the same time, when we talk about OTT, I also believe that, some content that is permissible, that should not get blocked because of certain regulations. And more than, government having regulations, I believe that, these producers, the content creators, they should be conscious, and they should make sure that, they don't make such content and they don't put it out just to get some attention, eyeballs. Self-regulatory is something more important than, government coming in the picture. But at the same time, it is high time that it happened, because when we were growing, we didn't have these kind of content. We still managed to grow up as, good individuals. I think content should be restricted till a point. Vulgarity and things like these, what happened recently, should not be, in the public eye, because this is disgusting. And the kind of youth that we have now, they're anyway very insensitive towards everything. With this content, I think we're not going to go anywhere. I think it's high time. And I'm really glad that something like this has happened.
Absolutely. In fact, the self-censory groups also should be quite mindful and subscribe and continue to stick to the laws. Thank you so much, Ms. Shetty, for joining us on Public TV. Viewers, we shift our focus to now the row over Ramzan relief down south. Now, after Telangana and the Congress government could now announce relaxation in the working hours for Muslim government employees during the month of Ramzan. Now, this after the state Congress unit urged the Siddaramaiah government in Karnataka to ease the working hours for Muslims during the holy month of Ramazan for their fasting. Here's a report on that.
The Congress government in Karnataka could go the Telangana way. The Congress unit in Karnataka has urged the Siddaramaiah government to consider relaxing the work hours for Muslims in government offices and PSUs during the holy month of Ramzan. According to reports, the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee has formally requested the Siddaramaiah government to announce working hour relaxation for Muslims during the fasting month. Earlier, the Congress government in Telangana notified the easing of working hours for Muslims at government offices during the holy month. According to the Telangana directive, Muslim government employees are entitled to leave 2 hours early at 4 p.m. to offer Ramzan prayers. Significantly, the NDA government in Andhra Pradesh has also announced similar easing of working hours for Muslim employees in the state. With Karnataka set to go the Telangana way, is the Congress going out of its way to appease its vote bank? All
right, viewers, now Assam Chief Minister Himanta Vows has gone all out against the Congress's Congress MP Gaurav Gogoi. Now today in the assembly, while he was speaking on Gaurav Gogoi's alleged links to Pakistan, alleged links to ISI, he said that there are huge revelations that could be made within a matter of 3 months as the SIT investigations are under. We also said that the Pakistani national in question, Ali Taqir, has visited India at least 18 times. Listen in.
18 times ভাৰতলৈকে আহিলে আৰু এই গোটেই ইনভেষ্টিগেশ্যন কোনে কৰিলে আমাৰ অসম পুলিচে 6/11/2010 আহিলে 23/2/2011 আহিলে 2/2012 আহিলে 1/5/2012 আহিলে 26/13 আহিলে 17/8/13 আহিলে 5/10/13 আহিলে 27/10/13 আহিলে 5/2/2014 আহিলে 6/2/2015 আহিলে 3/4/2016 আহিলে 31/5/2016 আহিলে 10/11/2018 আহিলে কোনে উলিয়ালে অসম পুলিচৰ এসআইটি উলিয়ালে ইন জাস্ট 3 days of time এতিয়া আমি গম পাম যে কোনে তেওঁক ইণ্ডিয়ালৈকে আনে কোনে তেওঁক আতিথ্য দিয়ে কি ঘটনা উই আৰ গোইং টু গেট ইট মোৰ এণ্ড মোৰ ইনিশিয়াল মোৰ হাতত যি তথ্য পৰিছে it will be very very fatal for the Congress party it will be a complete difficult যোৱাকালি মই প্ৰদ্যুৎ বৰদলৈ ডাঙৰীয়াক এটা টুইট কৰিছিলো just do not criticize me for politics it is going to be huge and I am repeating the investigation has revealed certain very startling facts যেটো মই কল্পনাও কৰিব নোৱাৰো and I am speaking in this assembly as a most responsible person মই এজন responsible person হিচাপে ইয়াত থিয় হৈ মই কৈ আছো the impact on Assam politics will be huge
Delhi has got its new chief minister. Rekha Gupta is the 4th woman Delhi chief minister. She was sworn in just today at the Ramlila Maidan, and now we are cutting across to live shots coming in from the banks of Yamuna, from the Yamuna Ghat, where the newly elected, the newly sworn in chief minister will be visiting the Ghats, and you can see the entire, the top leadership of Delhi. Also there, Parvesh Verma and several other top leaders of the BJP arriving at the Yamuna Ghat. Shortly we'll see Rekha Gupta attending the Aarti. She invoked Ma Yamuna today. And remember, Yamuna has been one of the biggest electoral issues. And Delhi Chief Minister has vowed the cleanup. Since day one, we see, from day one itself, we see Rekha Gupta going to the Ghats of Yamuna. My colleague Piyush Ori is right now live from the Yamuna Ghat. Piyush, when do we expect the Aarti to begin? Top leaders are in attendance.
So yes, good evening to you, Rakshita, and good evening to all our viewers who are viewing us at the moment. And yes, we can expect the religious ritual, the Aarti of Ma Yamuna, being carried out very soon. In fact, we are just waiting for the Delhi Chief Minister, the newly elected Delhi Chief Minister, Rekha Gupta, to now come over here. As you rightly mentioned, the top brass of the Delhi BJP have already come over here. And I would just request my video journalist to just show the visuals as he can. This is the scenario over here at Vasudev Ghat, one of the prominent ghats of Yamuna over here in Delhi, where the top brass of the Delhi BJP, that include likes of Parvesh Verma, Ashish Sood, Kapil Mishra, Bajant J. Panda, they have all come over here. They are sitting over here in attendance along with some other top BJP leaders. But now we are waiting for the Delhi Chief Minister to come over here, following which then there is going to be an evening Aarti of Ma Yamuna. Having said that, you rightly mentioned that the cleanliness of Yamuna is one of the basic and one of the pertinent issues in these Delhi elections. And even though now the Delhi BJP has committed that they will be cleaning Yamuna in 3 years, it seems it is going to be a Herculean task for them, because years of contaminated sewage from several parts of the city have come and accumulated over here in this 22-kilometer stretch of Yamuna over here in Delhi, making it one of the most poisonous and polluted rivers unfortunately. So yes, even though now the religious rituals, the evening aarti is being conducted, we hope and we really pray now that the Delhi BJP is going to make sure that they clean and they undertake this Herculean task of cleaning Yamuna. Back in the studio.
Thank you so much, Piyush Ori, for joining us with those details. Viewers, live shots coming in. You can see Rekha Gupta and all the top leaders there at the Yamuna Ghat. In fact, they're also holding the first cabinet meeting out there. Team Rekha Gupta there. Delhi BJP in action right on day one. Viewers, we also get you other stories that we are tracking for you from across the globe. Hamas has handed over the bodies of Israeli infants and 4-year-old brother, Kafir Babas's brother Ariel, also along with their mother, who were in the captivity. And they were the two youngest captives taken by Hamas in their 7th of October dastardly attack. Hamas claimed that they were killed in Israeli airstrikes. They paraded their coffins on the stage before handing them over. Here's a report. Hamas handed over the body of 4 Israeli hostages to Israel today. The bodies of Israeli infant Kafir Bibas and his 4-year-old brother Ariel were handed over to Red Cross in the Khan Yunis city. Hamas also returned the body of the mother of 2 children, Shiri Bibas, along with that of a 4th hostage, Odeid Lifshitz, under the Gaza ceasefire agreement. The ceasefire agreement between Hamas and Israel was reached last month with the backing of the United States and the mediation of Qatar and Egypt. Hamas terror group, shifting the blame on Israeli, claimed that all 4 hostages were killed in IDF airstrikes. While some families celebrate the arrival of their loved ones, on the contrary, for the families receiving the mortal remains of their beloved, the Israel-Hamas conflict will always be a dark chapter in their lives. That's all we could pack in this edition. More stories coming in on Live and Breaking at 6:30. Stay tuned, viewers.
Let me transcribe and summarize this video for you.